In the final game of the weekend at 4:40, the Panthers at the Saints. You got Drew Brees and the Saints hosting the NFC rivalry in the NFC South of the Panthers. You got Drew Brees and the running back duo of Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram of the Saints. And does Cam Newton suck after last week's performance?
Cam Newton doesn't suck as a running back. He sucks as a quarterback. I don't like Cam Newton's style of play. I think Cam Newton is selfish, and he runs too much. A quarterback's job is to throw the ball. That's why you have a running back. That's why you have a fullback. I think Cam Newton, if he's making records of rushing TDs and he's literally on the leaderboard in terms of rushers in the NFL, beating out running backs, there's a problem. Cam Newton has a terrible arm. He does not throw tight spirals, I think. So Cam Newton, they made it to the playoffs. They're a great team. They have a good defense, but I think Cam Newton is just not enough. He's a running back who throws. He's not a quarterback who runs, I think Drew Brees, top 10 in completion percentage this year. He's top 10 in yards. I think he was having a fantastic MVP season until a couple weeks ago. I think Drew Brees is really going to take this team. Marshawn Lattimore on the defensive side, Cameron Jordan on the defensive side. The Saints are really a more complete team, and they're going to take this one in New Orleans.
Yeah, I think the Saints, they're a good candidate to be in the NFC Championship game. They got a great team, both sides of the ball. And then you look at Cam Newton, like you said, he's selfish. He uses his legs way too much. He's not getting the ball to his playmakers. Yeah. He has some weapons with Greg Olsen, but it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be closer because it is a divisional matchup, but I think the Saints are going to take it at home.
Last storyline of the NFL for today, we have Jon Gruden, ESPN, Monday Night Football, and other football analysts. He is going to be introduced as the Las Vegas Raiders' new head coach on Tuesday. His deal is 10 years and $100 million. That's the longest contract for any coach in NFL history. What do you think about this move?
I think it's a good move. Gruden, he's got experience with the Raiders already. And you look at Jack Del Rio, who the Raiders, for some reason, thought he was going to be the next big thing for a head coach. Yes, the Raiders went 12-4 last year, made it to the playoffs. But, they lost Derek Carr. But who knows if they still had Derek Carr for those last few weeks, who knows what the Raiders could have did last year. However, Jack Del Rio this year doesn't have control of his locker room. He's got Marshawn Lynch on the team. That's kind of difficult to control anyway. Yeah. But I don't think he's a good coach. He just, I don't know.
No, their defense was lacking this year. Their offense was lacking. I think with the team that the Raiders have, they should have been winning. They should not have had the season that they presented. I think about this contract. This is a huge risk for the Raiders. I think this just shows that they're desperate because who signs a coach to a 10-year deal when he hasn't coached in years? It's not that he was a coordinator or a coach. He was an ESPN analyst. And while he's, a smart guy, textbook-wise, he's kind of an idiot. But, he's a smart guy football-wise. But 10 years? Yeah, when you look at the coaches, Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, Vince Lombardi, these guys in history, they never got 10-year deals, and they're some of the best in the history of the game. Jon Gruden, we have no clue. I'm pretty sure his career record is a losing one. Yes, he won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, but that was a team that he did not build. He just walked in there, and he took them to the Super Bowl. And so I think this is a huge risk. It'll be interesting to see it play out. I think it's not going to play out for a number of years, but I do think that Jon Gruden can take this Raiders team to the Super Bowl with Derek Carr.
I think so, too, because you look at it, and Jack Del Rio and the Raiders this year were expected to be great because of what happened last year. And they didn't live up to expectations. That's why Jack Del Rio was on the hot seat this year, and they got rid of him. So I think Jon Gruden coming in here, it's going to, like you said, big risk. Raiders look desperate right now because signing a 10-year deal like you said, someone who hasn't coached since, like 2000.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a fresh start.
With
the move to Las Vegas, new city, new fan base, new coach. It all works together. And I think Derek Carr is a fantastic quarterback. This year was an off year. But, yeah, I think Jon Gruden, huge risk, will work out, not worth 10 years.
Yeah. All right, so moving into the NBA, we got the Celtics, who Kyrie took round 2 against the Cavs. Yeah. And LeBron, they took it 102 to 88. Mm-hmm. Most people would think it would have been closer than that.
Yeah, it was really a beatdown by the Celtics. Great gameplay. I mean, the Cavaliers didn't lead once. They had leads up to, like 16 at one point. The Cavs, a terrible defensive team, were just not able to keep up with the offense that the Celtics were putting up. What made me happy, LeBron was not the leading scorer. Terry Rozier, all right, my sixth man of the year. He's coming off the bench scoring 20, LeBron only 19. But Rozier doesn't get the airtime, man. So, Terry Rozier, good job. I acknowledge you. Love you, man.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. The Celtics, they're good.
Yeah.
They're very good. And the Cavs just have bad defense right now.
Yeah, the Cavs third in the Eastern Conference. Great offense, but again, lacking. They're going to add Isiah Thomas more. He started on Tuesday against the Trailblazers, 17 points. However, Isiah Thomas is the worst defensive point guard in the league. He's small, so that doesn't really add up for a lot of blocks. He has a pretty good amount of chase down blocks, but overall his defense is not the caliber that'll turn the Cavs around. So while it'll help their offense, defense still be lacking.
Speaking of Isiah Thomas, what's going on with him?
Well, Isiah Thomas did not play on Wednesday, and his family was not in Boston at TD Garden. So he did not want the Boston Celtics to play his tribute video that they said they were going to for him. However, now he would like it on February 11th, which a little conflict there is Paul Pierce jersey retirement night. And here's the difference. Paul Pierce played almost his whole career with the Celtics. Mm-hmm. He took them to an NBA Finals. He is the 2008 NBA Finals MVP. Yep. Paul Pierce, you cannot compare to Isiah Thomas. Paul Pierce said it on NBA The Jump on ESPN. He said, I don't think I want to sit there on my jersey retirement night and look up and see Isiah highlights. Yeah. And I don't blame him. He's earned that right. Oh, yeah. Paul Pierce is a future NBA Hall of Famer. I mean, he's fantastic. And Isiah Thomas played 2.5 years with the Celtics. Mm-hmm. And yes, he had one of the best Celtics seasons ever last year. However, it's 2.5 seasons. They played a tribute video for Jay Crowder, who played 3 seasons. Jay Crowder, great addition, did great for Boston. I love Jay Crowder. But for IT to take the limelight from Paul Pierce like this, it's just not fair.
Yeah, I just don't like how that's going to play out there. Because definitely, like you said, it's an issue with how those two are going to try to happen on the same night. But I just don't know how it's going to work out. Yeah,
we'll stay tuned for that. Maybe they'll Instagram it. Maybe they'll play it some other time. Know. Yeah, who knows? We'll see. Okay.
All right, we got one more topic surrounding the NBA. We got the NBA All Star game coming up in LA.
Yep.
The first ballot update was released last week, and your top 3 players in the East were Giannis Antetokounmpo, number 1, LeBron James, number 2, and Kyrie Irving rounding up the top 3. Does Giannis deserve the top spot? Or is LeBron James getting snuffed?
I don't think the NBA or the fans owe LeBron James anything. I don't think LeBron just should be given the top spot. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is putting up fantastic numbers. He's insanely strong. His long arms, they just go up for a dunk and defenders get out of the way. Mm-hmm. I think Giannis is a fan favorite. LeBron, he's loved by Cleveland. He's loved by others. But he's not a very well-liked guy. He's kind of cocky. He's got a big ego. He's a crybaby. He's a flopper. He just thinks everything should be given to him most of the time. Mm-hmm. But this is kind of a wake-up call. Giannis he's doing fantastic. I think he deserves this. I think LeBron James shouldn't be given anything because it's not about the player who you were or any numbers, in the past. Everyone is on a clean slate. and Giannis is putting up a great season, and I think the fans are recognizing that. So he looks like he's going to be the captain this year.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out. I think Kyrie, though, in the top 3. Good for my man Kyrie.
Yeah.
Let's get him up to maybe 2. Maybe knock LeBron James off. That'll be great.
Yeah, definitely a very strong top 3. All these are valuable captains. I mean, LeBron, like you said, he's got his lovers, he's got his haters.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
All right. This year, the NHL All Star Game is being held in Tampa, Florida. We have the 4 captains, and the jerseys were just revealed last week. 4 captains. You have Steven Stamkos from the Atlantic Division from the Tampa Bay Lightning. So he's in his home stage there, and he's going to be putting on a show as the captain. Metropolitan area, we have Alex Ovechkin from the Capitals. In the Pacific, we have Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers. And then in the Central Division, we have PK Subban of the Nashville Predators. So, what do you think of these jerseys?
I think they're different. I mean, I like what they're trying to do with the colors and the alternating and try to make it so every division is different and every region is different. But I don't know, the gray and the yellow and the blue and the yellow I mean, I like the black and the orange and the white and the orange. That makes sense.
Okay.
But the blue and yellow and then gray and yellow, why don't you just do flip flop them and have the?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Atlantic Division with the blue and the lime green. I think the electric colors are a little too much. I like the Central's got some cool ones with the black, and then the Atlantic kind of looks like laser tag with the gray and the lime green. So I mean, honestly, the jerseys are not the biggest issue. So. It's just more of a pet peeve because honestly, I'm like, this year they're not the best, but it's all right.
It's just like the NFL. It's like, do you really think the bright, vibrant ones are the best? No, not really. Because, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's about the game.
It's not our
it's about the game. So we'll see that.
Let's just start. All right. I think this concludes our episode of Houston Sports. Make sure you stay tuned for weekly episodes surrounding all things pro sports. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you comment outfit ideas and topics you want us to talk about. Like us on social media. Follow us. Notification. Oh, yeah. If you're subscribed, make sure to hit that notification bell. It's right next to the subscription button. It's pretty easy to see. Just click that, and you'll know when we post. Keegan, anything else?
Yeah, a couple more things. Happy trails to Carson Palmer and Bruce Arians, both of the Arizona Cardinals, announcing their retirements. Fantastic careers for both you men. I wish you all the best. Additionally, the New York Rangers won the NHL Winter Classic New Year's Day. They were undefeated for about, 4 days? So, good for you, Rangers. But, rough game against the Blackhawks. Still love you, though. All right. See you next week.